Gary, I'd previously described the 2-point loss to Collingwood as one word, and that was heartbreaking. You feeling the same way a couple of days later?
Well, that's actually 2 words, mate, heart and breaking. So, yeah, one of frustration, one of certainly our point of view where we could have won it. But then again, Collingwood are probably going to say with their dominance in the first half, especially in the second quarter, that they would be a little bit further in front with the chances that they created. But then it sort of turned on its head after half time, and I think we ended up kicking 4 goals 9, and they were 3 goals 1. So there was moments, we didn't handle a lot of the moments really well, I didn't think, from the start to the finish. And you can say bad luck with PSO's potential line stop, if you want to call it that, but really the damage was done early. We let them jump out to a fast break start. We couldn't control their stoppage work early. We couldn't control their contested ball, and certainly their intercept marking I thought was pretty good, and that's one of their strengths. So we couldn't nail any of those 3 things. We defended really well in the second quarter, I thought. That was a massive effort, and we're only, 14 points behind. And then we certainly turned it around from a resilience and resolve point of view, and we just didn't get enough bang for our buck in that second half. So it's really sitting here today feeling one of, again, shooting ourselves in the foot, which has been a bit of a costly problem right throughout the course of the season.
Probably the most costly period was, you mentioned the start, but also those late third quarter goals that the Pies got before the heavens opened. It just sort of halted our momentum, didn't it? And ultimately, even though the margin was always close in that last quarter and we peppered the goals, it just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, well, that's true. There were 3 goals that they got pretty much late in that third, and they were really primarily things that we didn't do really well. And again, there's a time in the game, and it's made up of moments, and when that moment arrives, you've got to make sure that you are strong, that you are resilient, that you are able to handle the pressure, that you hold your nerve. And we just, again, failed in those areas, and they capitalised, which a lot of the AFL clubs do when you turn the ball over or you make a bad decision. I remember that one that Matty Arnott missed across half forward there, and it was a matter of about 3 kicks, and then of course it was a goal. So we have to take those on board and continually strive to get better. But, you know, it's just been a little bit of a thing right throughout the course of the season. We've just not adapted when we needed to, and I'm not saying we're not trying hard, but we certainly need to try harder in those moments, because it's all the little things that you do in a game, which quite honestly, I believe anyway, win you the match. And you've got to be able to step up when they're required. And yeah, some of our boys on the weekend just didn't do it right, and probably collectively we didn't do things right at the right time either.
We never like to individualise, obviously, but just thought I'd mention Dylan Van Unen today. He's actually found himself in and out of the senior side over the last couple of seasons, but this year he's really put together some consistent defensive efforts and was a unanimous choice on Saturday night in the after-match function as our best player on Saturday. Yeah, no, you're right. And look, primarily it's been his body, and he's just never been able to get a really good run at it in his time here, except for probably his first year. But even then, there were probably things that we wanted him to do to become a better player, and that's all a coach ever wants, is for players to identify what they're not doing well and improve, and then have a consistent performance over a long period of time. And by and large, I think Dylan's done that this year. And I know last year he was extremely disappointed that he missed out on the flag, and he did have that facial injury pretty late in the season, and then he's had a little bit of OP. But no, you couldn't question what he did on the weekend, and certainly he was one of our better contributors for sure. And we now know that we're 1 win off officially securing a finals berth, and the first of our final 2 games sees us come up against the old foe Williamstown. They're flying since we last played them, always a big game, but also plenty on the line, and the forecast suggests that there'll be some typical Willie conditions greeting us when we go there on Sunday.
Yeah, there must be a special time down there, or a special area called Willie's weather, and we can't control that obviously, but we look forward to the challenge. We've certainly got to make sure that, yeah, we do stitch up a top 8 position, there's no doubt about that. You don't want to be relying on other things to go your way. We've just got to get it right in the next couple of weeks and hopefully hit the finals with a little bit of momentum, because it's important that the players understand that what we're doing at the minute is not getting exactly what we want. And for us to come up against a red-hot Williamstown is probably a good thing for us, because you can't dwell too much on what's happened. So we look forward to it as we always do, but no doubt Williamstown will be a little bit filthy that we've sort of been able to get over the line the last couple of times. But why should they be up and about more so than us? And that's the challenge for me, to get our players to be highly motivated and to be able to withstand the pressure from Willie.
Gary, thanks for the time again today, and good luck against the Seagulls.
Thanks, Sam.